read it once, pausing at every period and comma to visualize. Max has 302 pennies. Okay, I'm closing my eyes. I'm imagining a really big pile of pennies. Like a really, really big one. I'm not going to count 302 pennies, but I am imagining them. If he divides them evenly amongst himself and his 4 family members, comma, okay? So he wants to give the pennies to himself and his 4 family members. So that's 5 people in all. Because Max himself is 1, and then he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 family members. So I'm imagining 5 people with their hands outstretched, ready for Max to put pennies in them. Okay. How many pennies will each person get? That means I'm trying to figure out, once Max is done, they're going to have a pile of pennies in their hands. How many pennies is that? It said I'm dividing them evenly, so no one person is going to have more than the others. So if there's leftovers, they're just going to go somewhere else. Maybe they're going to be donated or put in a drawer somewhere. But everybody's pile will have the exact same amount, and I want to know how many pennies is in that pile in their hand. Okay. Now let's go through. What is the question? Victoria, this is what's going to take us a long time or take us the proper amount of time. If you are listening and you listen to what the person before you says and you're thinking of these steps, you will be fine. Go ahead and get out your math books and open so that we have it for the steps. But Victoria, what is the question?
How many pennies will each person get?
How many pennies will each person get? What else is important in this question?
After how many there is pennies, our answer.
After how many? We have a noun, pennies. So that means that's our answer unit. Does that mean it's 100% going to be our quotient, Victoria?
No.
What could it be?
Our remainder.
Our remainder. Kingston, is there anything else important in this question?
Yes.
Yes. What else is important in this question?
Each person.
Each. Ooh, this is one of those nice problems where we're going to find out both units right away, right? Well, maybe. We'll see. Each tells us what, Kingston? We're multiplying or dividing. Please also make sure your voice is loud, because even if you say the correct answer the first time, if I can't hear you, that means you have to repeat and repeat and repeat, which takes time. Okay, and then what do we see? We see person right after. Is that the same as the word after how many?
No.
So that means person is our other unit. So now we already know both units, right, Kingston? What's our first unit? Pennies. Because Victoria told us that, and Kingston was listening, so he remembers. Victoria said pennies was our answer unit. And what's our other unit? Person. Now, pennies. Think about it. Smith, is pennies going to be our items or our groups?
Items.
Our items. Which means people or person is our
Group.
Because, Smith, which one makes more sense? A person getting pennies or a penny getting people?
A person getting pennies.
A person getting pennies. We know a penny's not going to get a person. That doesn't make sense. So that's how we know if the people get pennies, the people, person, is the group. The pennies, what they get, is the item. Okay. Luckily, this question told us both units right there. We don't even have to figure out the others. Ethan, let's read the first sentence. Max has 302 pennies. Is there something important there? What's important? 302 pennies. We see one of our units, pennies, with a number, so we know 302 pennies is one of our pieces. Next, we have if he divides them evenly amongst himself and his 4 family members. Zari, is there something important there? I don't see the word person or people, but what do I see? You're muted.
Family members.
Family members. Are family members people? So even though it's a different word, does it mean the same thing, or do we have 3 units? Sorry.
It's the same thing.
They mean the same thing. Now, Zari, is 4 family members the only important piece?
No.
No, because what's the whole important piece?
If he divides them equally among him and his 4 family members.
So wait, but does that mean I put a box around that whole entire sentence?
No.
No, what do I put a box around? Do I just put a box around 4 family members?
No.
What do I put a box around?
We do evenly amongst himself and his 4 family members.
Do we need evenly amongst? Does that tell us our other number? Who can help her out? I think she's
No.
on the right track. She is on the right track, and I think she understands. Sometimes we can't quite get the words out. But what does tell us the exact number? Zadie.
Himself and his 4.
Himself and his 4 family members. Because 4 family members means how many, Zari? Coming back to you. 4 family members means how many? Listen to my
4.
question. 4. But himself and 4 family members means how many?
5.
5. Very good. Okay. Just if he divides them evenly means we can do this equally. No one's going to get more than the others. So that means if we have leftovers, does somebody get them? No. They stay in the bank. They stay whatever. They get put in a drawer. They get lost. Whatever. They get put in a collection plate. I don't know. Okay, so now we have 302 pennies. We have 4 family members, which is the same as a person. Now we need to set up our problem. First, are we multiplying or dividing? Well, let's see. Lena, there are a total of 302 pennies, right? And there are 5 people. If 5 people are breaking up 302 pennies, is anybody going to end up getting more than 302 pennies? No. So that means our answer has to be less, which means we are dividing. So we can go ahead and put our division symbol, our bracket. Now, Lena, which one's the dividend? What is the number that we are dividing? What's the total number of items? 302. Because 302 represents the total what? What exactly? Like what exact thing in this? Total pennies. Now we need to find our divisor. What's our divisor? We're dividing these 302 pennies. Are we dividing it into groups of pennies? Like, do we know how many pennies each person's going to get at a time? Or do we know the number of groups? The number of groups, which is what?
4.
Is it 4? There's 4 family members, but is he just doing it to his 4 family members?
No.
He's himself and 4 family members.
So 5.
5. Because 5 represents the number of items in each group or the number of groups?
The number of groups.
The number of groups, which is pennies or people? People. Which we know is the groups. Okay. Mason, if our divisor is groups, which is people, then our quotient has to be what? The groups or the items in each group? The items in each group, because they have to be opposite of each other, right? We can't break groups into groups of groups. Does that make sense? No, we break groups into groups of items. So, this is the items in each group, which in this story is the what each what gets.
How many pennies each person gets?
Good. We're replacing the word item with pennies. So, pennies. But instead of saying in each person, we're going to say each pennies each person gets. And if we have a remainder, I know it's kind of squished, what will it represent, Mason? Pennies left over, because it always represents the same unit as the dividend. We might only do number 1 because, no, I'm afraid to say it, but we might only do number 1 so that we have time, and then you have time to do the rest of it, because number 2 is no different. Just it has different numbers and a different story to it. Okay, now we're ready to actually do the math, which should be the part that you guys are like, oh, I know how to do this. As long as you know your basic facts. Some of you know the process very well, but you don't know your basic facts, so you end up with the wrong answer. Even though you're doing the process exactly correctly, you don't know your basic facts, so you're getting the answers wrong. Some of you know the process, but you're going too fast and not making sure that you're being neat and lining everything up properly and getting confused. Colin, first thing we always do in a division problem, try to tell me in words. We know it's divide, which means we do what? We see how many times the
divisor goes into the first two.
Always the first two? It's the same words we always use. Who can tell her the words we always use? Come on, this is what takes a long time because it's the same words we've been using since January 5th. It's the same words. Lena, we see how many times the divisor will go into the which part of the dividend? Come on, guys. Zadie.
The first digit of the dividend.
The first digit of the dividend. See, it's the same words. We see how many times the divisor will go into the first digit of the dividend. Colin, can the divisor go into the first digit of the dividend?
No.
So what do we have to do? Now, this doesn't always happen, so that's why we have to say the same thing. We always start. Everybody listen, because if I ask you to repeat and we have to go through 6 people, there's 10 minutes that we waste. Always, the first step to solving the division problem. How many times will the divisor go into the first digit? But Colin told us in this case, 5 cannot go into our first digit 3. So what do?
Uncover one digit.
I'm going to go 1 digit over. I'm going to uncover, like imagine I'm covering it up. 5 can't go into 3. So I'm going to uncover 1 digit. Now what do I have?
30.
30. Can 5 go into 30?
Yes.
Cullen? Yes. How many times?
6.
6. Where do I put the 6? Above the divisor?
No.
Above the first digit of the dividend?
No.
Not in this case. Below the dividend somewhere?
No.
In the remainder spot?
No.
Above the last digit of the dividend?
No.
Not in this case. So where?
In the middle digit.
Above?
Above the middle digit.
Above this 0. Because if I put 6 above this 3, I would be saying 5 goes into 3 6 times. Is that true, Cullen?
No.
If I put the 6 above this 2, I would be saying that 5 goes into 302 6 times. Is that true?
No.
No. If I put the 5 above here, or down here, or over here, or over here, or over here, or over here, that would make no sense, right? So it has to go above this middle digit because I'm saying 5 will go into what 6 times?
30.
30. Okay. Now what do I do? Try to tell me in words. Oops, that's me. Forgot to take me out. Carla, try to tell me in words. What do I do next? I just divided. So I know. My next step. Divide.
We already know that.
Carla, please, you use a lot of words, but it takes a long time, so you just have to tell me. We just divided, now we do what? Tell me the one word.
Multiply.
Multiply. Now what does that mean? Try to tell me in words. We multiply the...
We multiply the digit we got
by the...
the divisor.
By the divisor. So the digit we just got is what, Carla?
6.
The divisor is what?
5.
6 times 5 is
30.
30. Now, Carla, just tell me yes or no. Am I going to put 30 up here?
No.
No. Am I going to put 30 right under the 3?
No.
No. Am I going to give it 30 under 302?
No, we're not.
I'm
We're
just
gonna
going...
put under 30.
Good. I'm lining it up with 30. Okay. Aaron, what do we do next? We just divided, multiplied, now we subtract, which means what? Try to tell me in words.
We subtract.
Loudly.
We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from our dividend.
From the first 2 digits of our dividend. Normally what we did before, it was the first digit, but now since we're looking at the first 2 digits, we subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from the first 2 digits of our dividend, which is what?
30.
Yeah, hurry. 0. 30 minus 30 is 0. Now, yes, I am actually going to write that. I am going to write the 0. I'm not going to write 2 zeros because 30 minus 30 is 0. I can't leave it blank. If you did a math problem that was 6 minus 6, and you, like this is number 1, and you left it blank, did you get it right? No, you still have to write 0. We just don't write zeros like at the beginning. We will leave zeros in the ones place. Always. We just won't leave zeros at the beginning. Okay. Next. What do we do, Michaela? We just divided, multiplied, subtracted. Now we
Bring down.
bring down. So we look at which part of our division problem?
The divisions.
What part do we look at in this division? We only have 4 parts.
Division.
Division, that's the operation. That's not a part of a division problem. There's 4 parts: dividend, divisor, quotient, remainder. Which part do we look at for something to bring down?
The dividend.
The dividend. Now do we use this first digit of our dividend?
No.
What about the second digit?
No.
No, they both have digits underneath them. What about the third digit?
Yes.
Yes, it has nothing underneath it. So now what do we put to show that we are now using it?
An arrow.
An arrow. And then we bring down our 2. And now we have a what, Michaela?
A new dividend.
A new dividend. What is our new dividend, Michaela?
2.
2. Zadie, we divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down. Now we divide again. What does that mean? Tell me in words. Remember, divide always starts with see how many.
You see how many times your divisor will go into your new dividend.
Good. I see how many times my divisor will go into my new dividend. How many times will 5 go into 2?
0.
No times. Do I leave it blank like I did in this first step?
No.
No. I have to put it there. If I have a digit in a place in front of it, I have to put that 0 there. I have to. I can't leave it blank, otherwise I'm telling people my answer is 6. Is my answer 6? No. Okay, good. So 5 will go into 2 0 times. Now what do? We just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided again. Now we, Zadie? Multiply. Tell me what that means in words. We multiply the, it's the same thing every single time.
You multiply your divisor by your
But we put it in the same order every time so that we don't forget. Who can help her out? Carla, we multiply the, listen.
We multiply the first digit.
Nope. Okay.
We
Nope. Who can help? We never say we multiply the first digit. We never ever say that. Zari.
multiply the digit we just got. We multiply the digit we just got from
Not from. We don't multiply from. We subtract from. Kingston, loud so Zadie can hear you. Zadie, make sure you're listening. We multiply the.
multiply the digit we just got by 5 by the divisor.
So say it again, all in words. One sentence, all in words. Multiply the.
Digit we just got by the divisor.
Did you hear what he said? So what do we do, Zadie?
We multiply the digit we just got by the divisor.
We multiply the digit we just got by the divisor. That's the same words we use every single time we multiply. Every single time we will multiply. Every single time we're at the multiplication step, we multiply the digit we just got by the divisor. So what's the digit we just got?
0.
0. What's the divisor?
5.
0 times 5 is?
0.
Where am I going to put that 0?
Under
Under our new dividend. I'm going to line it up. Now what do? Victoria. We just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, multiply.
subtract.
What do we subtract? Tell me in words. We subtract the.
We subtract
Who can help her out? Smith.
We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from our new dividend.
Victoria, what do?
We subtract the answer.
Smith, say it again. Listen.
We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from our new dividend.
Victoria, try again.
We subtract the answer from our multiplication problem from our
This dividend?
new divisor.
New divisor. We've had the same divisor the whole time.
Oh,
Smith, say it one more time, please. Come on, Victoria, listen. Don't think.
We
Just listen.
subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from our new dividend.
You're saying the exact same words. What are they?
we subtract our answer from our multiplication problem from our new dividend.
Okay, which means we're subtracting what from what?
2 minus 0.
We're subtracting 0 from 2. 2 minus 0 is? Next, we check for something to do what with? Cullen, we just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided again, multiplied again, subtracted. Now we check to see if there's something to...
Bring down.
Is there anything to bring down?
No.
No, there are no digits without what?
Numbers or arrows.
Numbers or arrows underneath. So now we do what with this answer?
Compare.
Compare it to the,
Divisor.
is 2 less than 5?
Yes.
So 2 is our,
Remainder.
now, is the answer, are we done? Is the answer to our question, how many pennies will each person get 60 remainder 2? Is that our answer? Carla. Carla,
No.
each person will get what, Carla?
Each person will get 16 pennies.
Not 16, but I know you know that, right? But not 16.
60.
60 pennies. What does the remainder mean? What does the remainder mean? Lena,
There's just 2 left over.
2 what left over?
2 pennies left over.
There are 2 pennies left over. Because see, 302 total pennies divided into groups of, into 5 groups, 5 people, is 60 pennies that each person gets with 2 pennies left over. It's so easy to find the exact answer if you label everything. It is so easy. Okay, let's go back. Now let's go to the book. The directions for the guided practice say circle the correct place value position to show where to place the first digit. But we're also going to solve because we need the practice on that too. Okay, so number 1. We have 33 divided by 2. Would I ever read this 2 divided by 33? No, remember the number inside the bracket is the dividend, so you say it first. 33 divided by 2. Aaron, which place value, where do we place the first digit? Do we place it above the tens place or above the ones place when we solve this problem? Above the ones? Why? Because right now I know that you know it's the tens because my response led you to think, oh, okay, I was wrong. Well, there's only one other answer, so it must be tens. Tens! But is that enough to be able to move on to the next question? Why is the tens place where you place the first digit?
Because the divisor is less than 10 place.
Good! The divisor is less than the digit in the tens place, which means, can our divisor fit into this first digit in the tens place? Yes. 2 can go into 3. If I have 3 baskets and 2 apples, yeah, I can fit my 2 apples and I have none left. It's okay if I have an extra basket. We know that because that's where the regrouping comes in. So yes, it fits into the tens place. Now let's solve it over here. It takes a long time. Everybody listen. It takes a really long time for me to have to pick a different person for each step. But that's the only way right now I can somewhat guarantee that you will pay attention as we go. Because if I do what I normally do, which is where I have one person do the whole problem, most of the rest of you zone out. So in order to try to fight that, I have to call on a person for each step, which takes longer. Okay, so thank you, Aaron. Now we need to solve 33 divided by 2. Notice how I'm not putting it right up here because I need space for my answer, right? Michaela, step 1. What do? We know we are doing what? We know we're doing what operation?
Division.
Division, divide. So how do we do that? Try to tell me in words, please, quick.
We see how many times the first digit of our dividend will
Flip
go
it,
into
flip
our
flop it, flip flop it. Because we're not seeing how many times our first digit of the dividend goes into the divisor. We're seeing what? Flip flop those words.
How many times our divisor will go into our dividend?
The whole dividend?
The first digit of our dividend.
We're seeing how many times our divisor will go into the first digit of our dividend. Michaela, 2 will go into 3. How many times?
Once.
Once.
I mean 0.
0?
Once.
That would mean that what Aaron said was wrong. Where we can't, we have to go to the tens place, but that's not true. The ones place, but that's not true. 2 does go into 3. How many times?
Once.
Once. Now, we just divided. Kingston, what operation do we do next? Multiply. What are we multiplying? Tell me in words.
The digit we just got by the divisor.
The digit we multiplied the digit we just got by the divisor. 1 times 2 is what? 2. And we're lining it up with our division, the first digit. Zari, we just divided, multiplied, now we subtract. What are we subtracting? Please tell me in words.
We subtract the first digit of our dividend.
Flip-flop it. You're about to tell me the opposite. Like what Michaela did, you have to say the same thing the first time. We subtract the... Who can help her out? Come on, guys. We have to say it the same way, especially with division and subtraction. Because in division subtraction, it matters what you say first, right? So somebody help her out. Cullen.
We subtract
Mom.
the answer to our multiplication problem by the
Not by.
from the first digit of our dividend.
Zari, did you hear her? Okay, repeat.
We subtract the answer from the first digit of our.
We subtract, you got to say all the words. Cullen, say it again. You have to say all the words. You can't leave out words. You guys think, oh, I know what to do. I can leave out words. This is taking too long. I don't feel like doing this. This is why we're still here. Because in the moment, you're like, I know what to do. But then you get home and you're like, I don't know what to do. And you have not memorized the steps. And you look back at your book and you're like, what is it telling me to do? If only I'd listened to Miss Folis and I could say those exact steps, because we've said them so many times, I will never forget them in my life. Listen, focus, let's go. Say it again, Cullen. Zari, listen close. Don't think, listen.
We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from the first digit of our dividend.
Repeat, word for word, no changing. Zari.
We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from the first digit of our dividend.
Good, which means we're doing 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2 is what, Zari?
1.
1. Lena, we divided, multiplied, subtracted, now we bring down. Which part of our division problem do we look at? The dividend, divisor, quotient, remainder. Which one? Dividend. Can we use this first digit? No, it has a number under it. Can we use the second digit? Yes, it has nothing under it. What are we going to put under it to show we've used it? An arrow. We just created a...
13.
What did we create in words? You weren't here, so Mason, can you tell her?
A new dividend.
What did we create, Lena?
A new dividend.
A new dividend. What is our new dividend? 13. Smith, we just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down. Now we
Divide.
divide. Tell me in words what that means.
We see how many times our divisor will go into our new dividend.
Good. We see how many times our divisor will go into our new dividend. How many times is that?
6 times.
6 times. Ethan, we just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided. Now we, what comes after divide every time? Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, divide, multiply. What are we multiplying? Can you tell me in words, or do you need some help telling me in words? What? Okay, make sure that you're listening. Don't think about what you're thinking about. Think about listening only. Aaron, loud so he can hear you.
We multiply the digit we just got by our divisor.
Can you look at him and tell him that? So listen to her words so that you can repeat them exactly, because they will not change. So look at him while you say it.
We multiply the digit we just got
Not from.
by our divisor.
Okay, can you repeat, Ethan? We,
We multiply the digit that we just got
by, not from. We don't multiply from, we multiply by. So we multiply the digit we just got by the dividend, divisor, quotient, or remainder. Which one? Dividend, so we're doing 6 times 33. So we multiply by the divisor. 6 times 2 is what, Ethan? 12. I write it right underneath my new dividend. Mason, what do we do next? We just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, multiplied, subtract. What do we subtract? Can you tell me in words, or do you need some help? Okay, tell me in words. Loud, 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 so we can hear. It's okay if you need help. Oh, we're not multiplying, we're subtracting. You just told me we're subtracting.
We subtract our new dividend from
Flip-flop it. We're subtracting from the new dividend. What are we subtracting from the new dividend? We are subtracting the... Do you need some help? There's no problem asking for help, but you need to listen to it, okay? Colin, can you turn around and tell Mason, so listen close to what she says so that you can repeat the exact words, okay, Mason? Okay, listen close.
We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem
From,
our new dividend.
say it one more time. Listen again.
We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from our new dividend.
Can you repeat, or do you need her to repeat one more time? Okay? We subtract
our
the Colin, tell him one more time, okay? Listen close, Mason. Don't stress. Listen, okay? Take all the thoughts out except what is Cullen saying. Put it in my brain. Lock it there so I can repeat it exactly.
We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from our new dividend.
Repeat.
we subtract our new dividend
You're flip-flopping it. That is in there, but it's second. What do we subtract? We have to subtract from the new dividend. So look where I'm pointing. What is this? We subtract the answer to the... How do we get this answer? By doing what operation? The answer to the multiplication problem from the new dividend. So we subtract, listen, Mason, look in my eyes. We subtract the answer to the multiplication problem from the new dividend. What is that answer? 1. Okay, now what do we do? Smith, we just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, multiplied, subtracted. Now we check for
Anything to bring down.
anything to bring down, which means we look at the,
Places in our dividend.
do we have anything to bring down?
No.
No, there are numbers or arrows underneath them. So what do we do with this answer to our subtraction problem?
We compare.
To the
Divisor.
is 1 less than 2.
Yes.
So what does that mean about the 1?
It becomes our remainder.
It becomes our remainder. Okay. We gotta finish that tomorrow. So we'll do number 2, and we'll do number 2, and then you'll do the independent practice tomorrow. Okay. We'll get there.